Welcome back to another Honda Nighthawk episode. In this episode we're going to attempt to install the gas tank, hook up all the fuel lines and everything to the carburetors, charge up the battery, install that, and try and see if the bike fires up. So it's been sitting now for about 4 years without even so much as turning over. Let's see if this thing will fire up. Alright, so I went to go start this up last night, put the fuel petcock in the reserve position because that's where I was going to be starting it from, and noticed a pretty severe gas leak out the front of the selector knob. So I had to take the gas tank back off, take the petcock off, and then figure out how I was going to disassemble it, mainly because there's rivets instead of screws. And once I finally got it disassembled and drilled those rivets out, I noticed that the O-ring that was inside on the selector had basically flattened out and dried out. So I cleaned everything up there, put a new O-ring on. I had to use a pretty small O-ring just because the bigger that I got, the harder it was to actually get back inside the petcock. So I got a new one back on. It's been in the reserve position now for probably a good 15-20 minutes, and I don't have anything leaking out of it. So I think that that's a pretty huge win. Luckily, I don't have to go scrounging eBay to try and find one. I know there are aftermarket ones, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery, get a couple other things ready, and then we will finally see if this bike starts. Another thing that I noticed, the front caliper is leaking brake fluid, and something must have happened with the front master cylinder because it just dripped brake fluid down the entire thing. So this shift lever's paint all peeled off, the master cylinder paint all peeled off, so probably going to have to replace that. I think it's probably the sight glass that I had talked about earlier that I didn't think was going to be an issue, wound up being an issue, so I'll see what I have to do there. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. I would be lying if I said that my heart rate isn't really high right now. 4 years of work, mainly like 2 weeks here at the end to put it all back together. Is the 1983 Honda Nighthawk going to start within the first couple of tries? I don't anticipating it starting immediately just because, you know, I got to get fuel through the carburetors and everything. I'd like to think it's got a 50% chance of starting. I've got the kill switch off, choke all the way open, battery is connected as best as I can. Rear wheel is off the ground in case it needs to spin, but it's in neutral, so fingers crossed. Here we go. I do see the tack is working, which is nice. Okay, let's make sure we're not leaking. Looks okay. I don't have anything missing, right? Pretty sure everything is plugged in. And we are definitely in the run position. Oh, I am leaking gas from something down here. Where? All right, let's turn this off. Oh, kill me. There's a massive leak in the carbs. All right, so for hopefully the last time, taking the carbs off, going to disassemble them or unmount them one by one. The O-rings don't look great. Luckily, I've got like a giant set of 1 billion O-rings, so hopefully I have enough to make it through all of this. I did number them 1 through 4 in the position that they would normally go on the engine. So going to just tackle this slowly, one by one, replace O-rings as I go. All right, so that wasn't too terrible to split these apart. The O-rings that were giving me trouble were the ones on the sides of, I guess, the main fuel inlet. These two on either side, I guess connecting 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, were not leaking, as well as the O-rings in, I think these are like vents or something. They don't really seat very tightly, but I checked all the other O-rings. I wound up replacing them all except for one that I had up here in that one vent tube, just because I didn't have exactly the right size. I wound up, especially for this O-ring right here, I went to AutoZone and got one of the like Unita O-ring sets. I already had a set for O-rings. I had a pretty extensive one, but as with most things, it turns out that the size you need is some really random size that just doesn't really exist in standard part kits. I did find that, you know, over the years, sometimes you'll have the right diameter, but you won't have the right thickness of the O-ring, so just mess around with different O-rings. I think I had also gotten a standard set for the O-ring set from AutoZone. The one that I wound up using was metric. So between the two of those kits, I think you probably are okay. I know that AutoZone makes a couple different, or I'm sorry, Harbor Freight makes a couple different sets. So I got this top rail on loosely. I'm gonna go ahead and get the bottom rail on just to keep everything secure. Then I'll tighten everything down and get it ready for the worst part of all of this, which is going to be the reinstall. All right, so before I put the gas tank back on, I figure while I'm here, I might as well check to see if I have any sort of spark coming from the spark plugs. This one was a little bit covered in oil, so I had to clean that off. Maybe I have too much oil down in there and I was fouling up the plugs, but in order to get any spark out of the spark plug, I have to have the kill switch not in the not run position. So hopefully I should get some spark here. And I do. It's not super strong, but at least we've got some spark. So I'll clean that up a little bit and then reinstall and check the rest of them. All right, so that's good. I've at least got spark out of all 4 spark plugs. Like I said, I had to clean some oil out of them. I also took a screwdriver and a paper towel and just stuck it into the cylinder and kind of work it around to maybe get some of the rest of the oil that was in there out. I'm going to now reinstall the gas tank, but I'm going to leave the rear boots of the carb off, because if I do have to take that back off to, I don't know, maybe my O-rings weren't tight enough or something, that way I don't have to deal with those boots all over again. So I'll just keep a close eye on the front, make sure nothing can possibly get sucked in, and then reinstall everything and see where we get to. All right, so again, gas tank is back on. Carb boots I'm keeping off just for testing. Battery is temporarily hooked up. My heart's beating. Spark plugs we know are good, and carbs, hopefully the O-rings stick. I Got a flashlight ready here just in case I need to look to see if I'm dripping or anything, but let's get that choke all the way open, turn this on. I don't know, squeeze the throttle a couple times maybe, and let's see if we start. Am I leaking gas? Nothing yet, so that's good. All right, let's keep it cranking. Okay, battery's getting a little bit low, so I'm going to go ahead and let that charge up and then take another quick look over these O-rings to see if I may have missed anything. Okay, so I've checked a couple different things. I've checked that I am getting gas to the float bowls in all of them, and then I have a couple times now taken these spark plugs out, blown out the inside of the cylinders with some compressed air and tried to wipe everything out with a paper towel, and I'm pretty much at the end of what I think I can do in terms of just seeing what's going on. So I do think that I need to somehow help get that gas into the cylinders. I don't actually think that there's any gas getting inside because I do have spark. I'm pretty sure I have compression. Definitely have air. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of liquid life. I've got some starting fluid. I'm just going to spray a little bit in each cylinder. And I do have a freshly charged up battery. I did leave it on the trickle charger for about 16, 17 hours, so hopefully that should help a little bit as well, but I'm going to hook some things back up, try and fire it up. All right, let's get some starter fluid in some of these carbs. I did also close the idle jet to try and, or not the idle jet, the what's it called? Idle screw. Hoping this might help kick it over. Okay, we're in run. Here we go. Reserve. Surely I should get at least one of these to go. Oh my God. Okay, let's add a little more. It ran. Oh my God, it ran. So it turns out when I lifted the gas tank up to get it a little out of the way to work on things, I accidentally removed the petcock vacuum opening thing. So let's actually try without any starter fluid, but I have a feeling like since obviously there was no fuel, who knows? Let's give it a shot. I don't have a spark plug in, I don't think. No, I don't. Well, I'm an idiot. Okay, choke. We are close. switch. Come on, go. Getting smoke out the exhaust, so at least that's good. All right, what's going on? Yes! 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 Oh my God! Oh my God, it runs! Oh my God, it runs! Oh, it smells like shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. It didn't blow up. All right, so I adjusted the idle screw a little bit. I had that completely closed. So let's see if it turns over again. Okay, let's open that more. Try again. Okay. A little bit more. I'm surprised the choke isn't doing more, but whatever. Am I going the right way? Yeah, I think so. I'm just happy it turns on. Jeez. All right, so I was trying to think of a way to close out this video, kind of as like a big hurrah, and I can't really think of anything cool or funny, so I think just as a good send-off, I'm just gonna let the bike start, let it idle for a little bit, get some different shots from different angles, and just let you guys enjoy it for what it is. So without further ado, let's just let the bike run. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Glad we finally got to this point. I'll see you guys later.